Hello and welcome. Today we're going to introduce to you the Coyote Asado, the newest addition to the Kamado industry. The Coyote Asado is comprised of a high temperature ceramic with an exterior porcelain. This allows you to cook and not worry about the heat radiating from the exterior and burning anyone. By using ceramic, we're actually utilizing radiant heat coming off of the walls to help cook our food. The way that the Asado is able to actually achieve that is by its ventilation system. You've got an intake and you've got an exhaust. So as you draw air in through the bottom vent and you bring it into the firebox, what you've then done is you've given the fire oxygen. So by having our vents completely open, we can actually get up to 700-800 degrees very quickly. If you'd like to be at a low and slow temperature, then it's key to actually choke your fire down, so have your vents closed. And what Asado has done that's unique is they've given you a number system on your bottom vent. So that way, once you get comfortable with using your Asado, you'll understand where to place your vent. Asado is also giving you a soft closing piston, which will allow you to close the lid without having anxiety about breaking any of the ceramics. When dealing with ceramics, it will expand and it will retract over time. And so one thing to note is that you may see spiderweb cracking in your porcelain, but that's actually normal. That's just from wear and tear, and over time you've got expansion with heat and retraction as it cools down. On the interior of the Coyote, what you'll find is you've got a laser cut grate that's special to Coyote, no one else makes that. You've got your cooking grid that sits above it. Now what this does is it allows you for two actual cooking levels. So if you wanted to cook on your lower grid, you could, as well as having food located on the top. The Coyote Asado has a 5 accessory package that you can purchase through your retailer. Those 5 key accessories are going to allow you to do different forms of cooking, from low and slow all the way up to baking temperature so that you can do pizzas if you'd like. The first key accessory is the grill gripper. The grill gripper will allow you to remove any cooking grates from the interior of the Asado without having to worry about burning your hands. You'll then have the second key accessory, which is the heat deflector. The heat deflector can be used at any temperature, from low and slow all the way up to your high temperature cooking if needed. The heat deflector acts as a barrier between your fire and your food, so you never have to worry about charring food because you've got a barrier in between. So it's an indirect method of cooking. The third key accessory is the pizza stone. The pizza stone is actually used with the heat deflector. You'll place the pizza stone above the heat deflector on the actual cooking grid, allowing that to get the temperature before you put your pizza onto it. The proper cooking temperature or baking temperature for pizzas would be about 500 to 600 degrees. Anything above 600 degrees you would sear, and that would be for the perfect steak, for instance. Your fourth key accessory that you'll have is the chicken throne. The chicken throne you typically utilize at about 350 degrees or so. And what you would do is you'd put your favorite marinade or any type of liquid or fluid that you'd want to infuse into your meat, and then go ahead and place your chicken or your turkey right above it as well. You'll just place it right on top of it. The fifth key accessory will be the Asado cover. It's waterproof, so it'll actually protect your unit from the outdoor elements. The Coyote Asado comes pre-assembled, aside from the cart, the side tables, and the handle that you attach yourself. When unboxing your unit, you'll simply take your crate, which comes in a box, you'll assemble that, then you'll put your Asado into that nest as you see it here, and then you can go through and you can attach the brackets for the side shelves, and then you can attach your handle for the dome. A key note to understand about the Asado when assembling the nest for it is that there are 2 brackets, and those brackets house the rivets that you'll attach the bolts to. Each one of those brackets is differentiated by the Coyote logo. So the Coyote logo will actually be the piece that goes at the bottom, and your flat piece will be the unit that goes on the top. So that way when your Asado is sitting in the nest, you don't have to worry about anything disturbing the bottom of it. Now that you have your Asado assembled, how do you light it? Never use any type of briquette charcoal. You only want to use lump charcoal. The differentiation between the two is one is actual wood and the other is actual composites, fillers, and chemicals. So the beauty of using a product like this is that we're cooking naturally with regular wood. Asado has its own proprietary lump charcoal, so you'll be able to get Coyote charcoal at your retailers, but in a bind you'd be able to find lump charcoal at any regular grocery store. In the lighting process, it's very simple. All we do is we fill the firebox halfway, meaning just above the ports for ventilation. And once we've got our charcoal filled, we then take a fire starter, which is paraffin wax and sawdust, put that into the center of your charcoal, touch a light to it, and you'll be fine. It'll actually ignite. Wait 5 minutes with the dome open, and when you come back, you'll notice that the charcoal is already ignited. You then shut the lid and begin paying attention to the temperature gauge. And through simple movements of the pinwheel and your bottom ventilation system, you'll be able to control your temperature to the finite degree. It's important to note that when achieving temperature control on your asado, you need to be sure that you have the base and the dome dialed in at the temperature you want to be at. Then you can introduce the accessories to it. If you add the accessories too early, it's only going to take that much longer to get to the desired temperature. First 2 times you're cooking on your asado, it's important to not get the temperature above 350 degrees. That way you don't have to worry about your gasket coming off. The gasket is simply held on by an adhesive that with time and temp, it'll actually adhere to the ceramics. The high temp gasket that's on your unit is a wear and tear item. Over time you will need to replace this. You can easily gain access to a gasket by contacting your Coyote retailer or simply going to the website and ordering one. It's important that when you're cooking at high temperatures, you introduce oxygen to the fire at a slow rate. So when you open your lid, be sure to open it ever so slightly, about an inch or so, before completely opening it, to allow some heat to exhaust as well as oxygen to enter. This is called burping your asado. When we're done cooking on our asado, we simply close the top and bottom vents, and because it's a sealed unit, we don't have to worry about that fire continuing to burn. It will actually extinguish. And because we're using natural lump charcoal, we're actually able to come back and reignite what's already in there. So you'll actually burn through your charcoal until it turns into a fine ash. So out of 20 pounds of charcoal, you'll produce about a pound of ash. And that's about as often as you'll need to clean the bottom vent. When you're done cooking, that's always the best time to clean your cooking grid because you've already got the heat. Aside from pulling the ash out of the bottom, you should never have to clean the ceramic. You should never be using lighter fluids or any type of chemical whatsoever in the ceramic because it's porous. Your waterproof cover will protect it from any elements. Aside from that, there shouldn't be any other maintenance that you would need to do to your asado. The Coyote Asado is a powerful tool, lending itself to everything that you would cook in your home or your grill. The key to owning the Coyote Asado is to experiment and have fun.